What I'm about to tell you might keep you up at night, but you do need to hear this. And right now, as we're speaking and you're watching this, scammers could be stealing your home out from under you, and you might not even know it's happening until it's too late. What we're talking about is deed and title fraud, and it's one of the fastest growing crimes in America today. Well, hey there, guys. My name is Mark. Crypto for seniors, retirement for seniors, both brands part of the senior network. Glad you're here. Now, I've been researching this for quite some time. This is a topic that's in the news all the time, and I'm hearing horror stories from people who thought their homes were safe, only to discover the criminals had actually forged documents in their name and literally stole their property titles. Now, this isn't some far-fetched movie plot. This is actually happening to real people like you and me, and typically us seniors are the victims. Okay. How can you protect yourself and your family? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's get started because your home may depend on it. All right, guys, so let me break it down exactly what we're dealing with here. Now, deed and title fraud happens when scammers use stolen personal information or they create a forged document for your property to illegally transfer it into their name. Now, once they do this, they can take out loans against your home or even sell it without you knowing, which is pretty common. Now, think about this for a second. Your home is probably your biggest asset, right? So for most families, it represents decades of hard work and savings. But here's the scary part. These criminals can steal it using nothing more than fake paperwork and your personal information. Now, the process is shockingly simple, and I hope they make some changes. They research public records and they find properties that look like good targets. Maybe they're homes that are paid off, or they belong to the elderly or senior community, or they're people that live out of state that maybe are renting for a secondary income. Now, they create fake identification documents, they forge your signature, and they file these fraudulent deeds with your county recorder's office. Now, be sure you understand, once this fraud deed is filed, legally speaking, they appear to own your property. That's scary. And here's the kicker. Most people don't find out until they try to sell their home or refinance, or sometimes not until they get an eviction notice from the new owner. So let me walk you through how exactly this happens with some real examples. Now, I won't use real names to protect privacy, but these are based on actual cases that I researched. Let's take Margaret, a 78-year-old widow in Detroit. Her husband had passed away 2 years earlier, and she owns her home free and clear. Scammers found her property in a public record. They created fake identification using her name, and they forged the deed transferring her $150,000 home to themselves. Then they took out a $100,000 loan against the property. Now, Margaret didn't discover this until she started to receive foreclosure papers in the mail 6 months later. How scary is that? Or consider the Johnson family from Phoenix, actually not from Phoenix, from another city, but not too far from Phoenix. They inherited a rental property from a relative and were managing it from across the country. Now, criminals researched the property and saw it was owned by an out-of-state resident. So they created fraudulent documents showing how they had purchased the home. Then they rented it out to unsuspecting tenants and collected the rent for over 8 months until the real owners found out. Now, here's what makes this so incredibly disturbing. The scammers often target specific types of property. They look for homes that are, as I said, paid off or no mortgage company that is monitoring the title. I still have a very small mortgage on mine, so I should be okay. But I may pay for this extra insurance just to be sure that this doesn't happen to me. Now, they also target elderly homeowners because they may not be checking their credit reports on a regular basis. And they love vacant properties or rental properties where the owners don't live in the area. Criminals get your personal information from data breaches in social media, public records, or even going through your mail physically. Once they have your social security number and your date of birth, along with the address, they can create convincing fake IDs and forge your signature. Now, the scope of the problem. Let me give you some actual numbers that will really open up your eyes. Now, according to the FBI, the property fraud complaints have increased over 1,100% in recent years. So this is brand new, so you want to be sure that you are taken care of. We're talking about thousands of cases annually, and just the ones that get reported. The National Association of Realtors estimates that deed fraud costs the homeowners millions of dollars every single year. And here's the really scary part. Many of the victims never fully recover their losses when they prove the fraud had occurred. Now, this problem is getting worse because of technology. It's easier than ever for criminals to create fake documents that look legitimate. And they can research these properties online and find personal information through data breaches, as I said, and file their fraudulent paperwork electronically in many jurisdictions. What about the warning signs and red flags? All right, so how do you know you might be a target or if this has already happened to you? Let me give you the warning signs you need to watch out for. First, stop receiving your property tax bills or they get sent to a different address. This could mean someone has changed the mailing address on your property records. Second, you receive unsuspected bills for utilities, loans, or services you didn't request. This means somebody might be using your property as collateral or has moved into your home. Third, get contacted by contractors and real estate agents or buyers who think your home is for sale when you never put it on the market. Fourth, your credit report shows new mortgages or loans that you did not apply for. Now, be sure you're checking your credit report at least once a year. You can do this for free at annualcreditreport.com. Let me say that a couple more times. Annualcreditreport.com. Totally free. Annualcreditreport.com. Now, fifth, you receive legal documents like eviction notices or foreclosure papers or court summonses related to your property when you haven't missed any payments or it's paid off. And here's one that catches people off guard. Neighbors or local authorities contact you about suspicious activity at your property, especially if it's a rental or a vacant home. Now, just make sure you take any of these signs seriously. Don't assume it's just a mistake or a paperwork error. Contact your county recorder's office immediately if you notice anything unusual. So, how do you protect yourself? Well, let's talk about how you can protect yourself and your family from this crime. The good news is there's several steps you can do to make yourself as much of a hard target as possible. Criminals don't like hard targets. They always go for the easy targets. Okay. First, monitor your property records regularly. Most county record offices have online databases where you could log in and check your property records for free. I recommend checking at least every 6 months or to make sure no unauthorized changes have been made. Second, sign up for property alert services. Many counties offer free notification services that will email or text you whenever documents are filed against your property. This is one of the best warning signs or systems that is available to you. Please take advantage of this. And third, consider title monitoring services. Companies like LifeLock, Identity Guard, or any other service that monitors your property title and alerts you to changes. Now, these typically cost between $10 to $30 per month, but that's a small price to pay for peace of mind, especially if you have rental or you've got homes that you are not in very often. That is money well spent. Fourth, secure your personal information. Shred documents with personal information. Be careful what you share on social media. That is a major issue. Okay. If you need help, you can always reach down to me, leave me a message down below, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. And if it really is a concern, I can bring you into a short video consultation. So it'd be my pleasure. Fifth, if you own rental property or a vacant land, check it regularly. Drive by periodically or have somebody in the area drive by, maintain relationships with your neighbors who can keep an eye on things, and consider installing security cameras if appropriate. Now, here's something most people don't think about. If you're elderly or you have elderly parents, this is especially important. Seniors are disproportionately targeted with this type of fraud. So make sure your elder or elderly family members understand the risk and have someone helping them monitor their property records, or do it for yourself and for your parents. Now, what to do if you're a victim? If you discover that you've been a victim of deed or title fraud, you need to act super fast. Here's exactly what you do. First, contact your local police department immediately and file a report. Get a copy of the police report. It may take up to a week for you to get that. You'll need this information for insurance claims and legal proceedings. Be sure do not skip this because everybody will ask you for it. Second, contact your county recorder's office and inform them that a fraudulent document has been filed and it is not yours. It has your signature on it or a facsimile thereof, but it is not one that you actually filed. Contact a real estate attorney who specializes in title fraud. Now, this is not a DIY situation, so please don't do this yourself. Contact the 3 major credit bureaus. And I'll say this a couple of times: Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Your 3 major credit bureaus: Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And place fraud alerts on your credit reports. Now, this will make it harder for criminals to open up new accounts in your name. Now, be sure that you document everything. Keep copies of every communication. Take photographs of any activity on your property. Maintain detailed records with date and times and all of your expenses related to the fraud. Now, if this video opened your eyes, and I bet it did, to the risks of deed and title fraud, please do me a favor. Take a moment right now down below and like, comment, and of course, always subscribe and share it with your family and friends. You can copy my link and send it directly to them. It's very important, even if people don't understand it, that they learn from this video so they know how to protect themselves. And if you want more tips on protecting yourself from financial scams and fraud, you might be interested in the video that you should see on the screen right now. It was recorded live stream, and the screen right now, you are able to click on it, and that will take you to the new video. Guys, thank you very much for spending some time with me today and watching. Listen, you stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. See you soon.